officially live from the Beer to Whiskey Studios high atop Barley's Tap Room on Washington Street in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. This is Beer to Whiskey. I'm your host, Russ Heaps, and this is one of our Big John and Five segments where I get my good buddy here, Big John Richards, to pick out a beer. And he tells us a little bit about it. We talk about it. He tells us about the brewery, and sometimes we get in a little bit about brewing because, as you well know, it's all about spreading the gospel of good taste. So with that said, Big John, what do we have?
We got a left-hand brewing company, Milkshake IPA is what they call this thing. Comes out of their Brewers test kitchen. So a little limited series, kind of once only brew, and they'll, most breweries these days are brewing little pilot batches and tossing them out to the market and see kind of what sticks, if you will. But these Milkshake IPAs, these New England style IPAs are all just saturating the market right now, which is fair because they're pretty delicious. You and I just sat down and had pizza, which I think is going to lend itself really well to this cleaning up our palate too, because Barley's where we sit, of course, has some just really fantastic pizza. It does,
and I have to tell you, we pay for what we do up here, so it isn't like we're saying this as some sort of a payback for a free pizza and free beer, because we do some things with them. But on these these Big John and Five episodes, we pay for the beer we drink, we pay for the pizza we eat.
Right. So, choosing from back behind us, I thought, well, this is an IPA that'll probably at least be palatable. IPA is not in Russ's wheelhouse, if you will.
I've had it. I'm familiar with it.
We find some from time to time that he'll actually enjoy.
I actually like.
Yeah. And I think this is going to be one of them. You know, when you talk about the New England style, you're really talking about hazy IPA, and this is just barely hazy.
It's not nearly as hazy as some of them.
Yeah, some of them really come up looking like soup, but this one's clearly unfiltered, but not just covered up in goop.
Right.
But then the milkshake part of it typically, and in this case does, mean that there's been a lactose addition as well. So you're going to get some of those lactose unfermentable milk sugars, as some of you may know, and Russ probably does. But when you put it in something like this, it just gives you that big creamy mouthfeel, adds a little bit of sweetness to the backbone of it. So a lot of these really come up tasting like creamsicles or those, freeze pop kind of things that are just super delicious.
Right.
So that's what I'm expecting out of this one. This is a brand new one to me. I haven't been anywhere near this beer ever before. So.
Oh, really?
Which is
because it's a one-off kind of.
And one of the things we love about doing them here is Barley's is beer headquarters for Greenville, for a lot of South Carolina, and for some amount to the southeast, because brought a lot of. In fact, the very first place you could ever get left-hand in the southeast was at Barley's. So Barley's is they're famous for getting these kinds of things and for finding the ones that are great and putting them out in front of people. And so I'm excited to find out what we've got here.
Any beer you can get by the owner, Josh, is you've done something.
Right.
So that's what winds up here. So, well,
let's give it a shot.
Let's give it a go. Text Miss Lily.
Let's do it. It's greener on the nose than I thought it was going to be. Oh, there's all that sweetness, though.
There's sweetness to it, but there's a little bit of funk to it, too.
There's a little bit of that. That's that green, earthy funkiness that I was getting on the nose, which just really means that the beer is super, super fresh. Most times, when you're, especially IPA-wise, if you get that real medicine bottle, or some people call it gym socks.
Yum.
But those real funky, earthy flavors or aromas, especially, are what lets you know you got a real fresh IPA on your hands. With this guy, you smell all that, but it doesn't come off strong and funky. I pull a lot of the sweetness right up front, and a lot of orange and a little grapefruit in the back.
Really?
Yeah.
Now that you've said orange, I get the orange. I don't get the grapefruit on the finish so much, but I get the orange up front.
Yeah. Well, lots of orange, much less predominant with the grapefruit. Grapefruit really is that kind of ruby red thing It's way after it settles on your tongue. It's just popping back up on mine like now.
It amazes me how you taste all that stuff. Once you mention it, I taste it, but I don't taste it going into it. But now I'm getting the orange, and I'm even getting the grapefruit on the finish.
Long hours of study, late into the night, Russ.
Tipping a few here and there. But it is good. I do like it.
Yeah.
And again, it would be a nice sit out by the pool kind of beer,
Yeah.
or sit on the back of the boat kind
And
of
that's
beer.
what you'd expect out of this kind of thing. And this is, believe it or not, 7% alcohol.
You're kidding.
No, it drinks like it's 5.
Oh, yeah.
It drinks as easy as could possibly be, but it's this would get your attention if you were sitting out by the pool with it.
I would have never, ever thought it was 7.
Yeah. It's kind of, and Left Hand's good about brewing beer for a long time. They've got that, of course, Nitro Milk Stout that they've become really, really famous for.
Yeah, you'll find that almost everywhere.
Right. But they do some really good quality beer all the way across the board, which is one of the reasons I was so excited to try this one. And it really is
Where are they out of?
hitting the spot after that pizza, too.
Yeah, it is.
Longmont, Colorado.
Okay.
So one of
It's
our
a
Colorado guys. Yep.
It's a Colorado
Yep.
brewery. I didn't know that. I've been a big fan because I drink browns and porters and stouts, and so that's usually if you go into a tap room or a bar and they've only got 2 stouts, one of them will be Guinness and the other one will be Left Hand,
Yep.
Nitro Milk Stout. So yeah, this is pretty
Yeah,
good.
well, good. Glad we found one. I always like it when I can trip Russ up, if
Yeah.
you will.
And the fact that it's a one-off, I'll never see it again. So
Well, it's part of the magic of the beer world. You
I
get
know.
to keep exploring
I
and
know.
keep looking for
I
new
know.
stuff.
but it is tasty. It does have that kind of sweet
Yep.
thing
It
going
pulls,
on.
it pulls sweet up front. It lingers dry, but it never gets real chewy.
Right.
It never gets that, super dry mouthfeel that a lot of IPAs do, where they just clean you right out.
Wow, I'm kind of impressed with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could drink more than one, not because of the alcohol, although, maybe because of that, the alcohol content, but just because it's a much bigger beer than you would think it is.
Yeah.
Just looking at it.
Right. And, it's something that's going to grow with you. The bitterness is going to linger, and it's going to continue to build on you as you drink it. So I could see by the time you got to the end of one, especially someone who's used to darker beers, you'd want to switch to something. But it's a really satisfying, clean, easy IPA at 7.
I'll grant you that.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you.
Great with the Longmont guys.
I agree with them as well. All right, sir. Let's let these people
Yep.
go and drink their own beer.
Yeah. Enjoy, guys.
See you next time.
Cheers.